at these different methods, and on the basal bark treatment, you can only treat 6-inch diameter trees or less. And in that study, we treated a whole bunch of those trees that were 6 inches or less, and we ended up killing trees that were 20 or 30 foot away that were 12 to probably 20 inches in diameter. Right? So we killed a lot of trees that were not target trees in that, because that milestone translocated so well. We didn't see that with the trichopyr or remedy. It did not translocate nearly as well as what the milestone did. If you're wanting to treat honey locust trees, use milestone, which the chemical is aminopyrrolid, or use tordon, picoram. Those are the two most active ones for doing a cut stump, frill girdle, or basal bark treatment. Any other kind of tree, the trichopyr with diesel is actually a pretty hard one to beat. Works really good on hedge, works really good on elm. Right, so anyway, I treated that area there, all those small trees, with the basal bark. And hopefully that large tree is going to end up being dead by
Which
the
means
year.
what? You
Treated the lower 12 to 15 inches.
Did nothing else.
Did nothing else. Just treated the lower 12 to 15 inches with the milestone and oil mix.
And you just use your hand sprayer there?
I used that little hand sprayer right there. Is what I used. Yep.
What kind of oil?
In this, I was using an oil called Sidekick. Yeah, it's actually an oil with some emulsifiers in it that come from the forestry industry down in the southeast part of the U.S. I can't remember if it comes from citrus trees or from pine trees down in that area, but it's an oil from one of those two. But it has mixed pretty well for me in the past, so that's what I used. We also use it as the surfactant in just our must thistle spray. But there's other ones too that work well. You just have to, like I said, do your clear jar test to make sure that what you're mixing it with is going to keep that in solution and not gel up.
Does it make a difference, like in spring, all the sap is going up into the tree, and in fall, it's all going down? Does that make a difference?
It's a good question. Does it matter what time of year, especially in the spring with the sap flow going up? With these frill and cut stump and girdle treatments, they can be done any time of year. It says that you could expect some less control if you're doing it during that heavy sap flow, but you still can get good control. You just not to its maximum point. We found that the ideal time that I've found that we've treated trees is probably end of August through the end of September time period. That seems to be one of the better times, especially with milestone. It even says on the label that during drier periods, you tend to get a better result. Now we did our treatment in a study that we did just north of Hayes along US 183 there in a little pasture just off to the west side of the road. And we got 97 and 99% control using the milestone on honey locust trees. Either doing the basal bark or cut stump. It was really effective. But anyway, that was the basal bark where we're treating the lower 12 to 15 inches all the way around the tree. It's a little bit hard to see. I didn't treat anything right next to the road because I didn't want it to die and fall on the fence. Because that is going to happen eventually. I didn't know what the landowner was going to do with these trees here, so I didn't treat anything right next to the fence.